This is Deb. All right, so here we are. We are at the 12 Days of Christmas, day 10. So we are going to jump right in. Thank you all for your patience. We had a little home project that I was finishing up with my husband, and that took a little longer than I had thought. So anyhow, we're going to get started. So the next 3 days are going to be slightly different in that we are going to focus on tags, gift card holders, thank you notes, and then a box, some sort of box or bag. So the products we're going to use for the next 3 days, we've kind of focused on a product for each week. So let me show you the products that we're going to use. Now, I checked the inventory on some of these. Some of them are in stock. Some of them might be back ordered. But you can use what you have. Okay. So let me just say that. So the first one, this is in stock, I believe, the Memories and More cards. So we're going to be using those. They come with the larger cards here, which you can see there's, I think, 4 different designs. We have the deer and the presents, and then we have ones that say Merry Christmas with the stripes. And then we have these right here that say Merry Christmas. And there's one other one. At least I thought there was. Nope, I guess maybe that's it. All right, and then we have the smaller ones. So let me go ahead and kind of show you what those look like here too. So we have ones that say Warm Wishes. We have these right here that say Believe in Magic, and they have just an opening on the back. The Warm Wishes has stripes, which is super pretty. And then we have this one here that says Merry Christmas on one side. So, and let me see. I thought there was one. Oh yeah. And then there's another one with the deer. Remember the reindeer? We did the week 2, and a beautiful Christmas tree. So those are just, we're going to use those in a variety of ways. So we're going to use some tonight, and you'll see kind of how that all works. And then in addition to that, we also have these sticker sheets that come with the Memories and More. So we're going to be using those to kind of help accent and decorate. So lots of fun with those. So that's one thing that we're going to use in the next 3 days. Then we're going to use as our focal stamp set. We're going to use the Greetings of the Season and the dies. And these are the dies. So as you can see, the reason we're kind of doing a lot of tags is because we have all these different size dies that we can use. And again, you guys might have different dies, totally fine. That's going to work for us. Whatever you have on hand. These I really do like. I will say, I think they are super gorgeous. Now for paper packs, and let me just show you too. So kind of just get a couple little housekeeping things out of the way. So I took some of the designer paper that we're also going to be using. It's the marbled one. It looks, let me tell you the exact name here. Season of Elegance. And it's these different patterns that have the gold in them. So I took all the dies, laid them on a sheet, and I got one of each. So we're going to use those. We're going to use them to layer. I also did them in white. And then I have a couple of the other colors here. I have the red, which I haven't cut out yet. This one that's more like a beige, I guess. And then this, I think, is pretty peacock. So beautiful colors. So we're going to be using those to accent. And then the 2 other paper packs that we're going to be using. And I'm not going to go through all the sheets right now, but this is the one called A Little Bit Festive. Okay. This is the one that's back ordered. And, so I'm sorry. I feel like we're going through something, but at the same time, it's going to be back in stock on the week of November 21st, which normally they put a later date than it comes in. So I would just tell you to look at that if you decide that you want to do some of these activities. And the reason I say that is because what I'm showing you is going to be a lot simpler. And when you get this paper pack, so much of it is already done for you. So let me show, and then this is the other one. This is the one that they give some money back. It's called Sentimental Christmas. Okay, this is my absolute favorite. It just is. It reminds me of when I was a kid. So I'm just going to have to, I'll share with you guys as we go through. But I mean, it's like ribbon candy and these little deer. Okay, I'll just have to just tell you about that later. But anyhow, beautiful paper. These are the things that come in the festive, the one that's back ordered. So you can see you get all of these die cut images. They're one-sided. And this is not even probably a third of them. I've used some to make cards and all kinds of things, which I'm going to share with you guys too. But this is kind of like just a plethora of die cuts that we're going to use to make different tags and accent boxes, etc. So I'll tell you more about that too as we go on. But that is what we're using over the next 3 days. So again, don't be discouraged if you don't have that paper pack, because you can order it if you want, or you can use what you guys have. Again, like we say, use what you have. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to tell you guys what we are using as we go through it. So I want to start with the, okay, now I need to go grab one more thing. I just realized, but we're going to start with our gift card holder. Okay, so we're going to use some real red, and because I'm going to cut it. So we're going to start with this one. I think that'll make the most sense. So we're going to need a piece that is 4 inches by 6 inches. So that is our first piece of cardstock that we're going to need. Oops. So we're going to go to 4 inches here. And the nice thing is you can get, obviously with 4 inches, you're going to be able to get a couple of these out of one sheet of paper. So if you want to make your own, gift card holders, this is an easy way to do it. So we're going to start with a piece that is 4 by 6, and then on the long side we're going to score it at 2 3/4, oops, and 5 1/2. Okay, so 2 3/4 and 5 1/2, and that is going to be our card holder base. Then we're going to take a piece of designer series paper, and we're going to use this one that looks like ribbon candy, and this is the other side too. It's beautiful, right? Okay, so we are going to have the ribbons go, I think, this way. No, actually we're going to do it, sorry, yeah, I think, yeah, we're going to want it to go this way. So I'm going to cut a piece that's 3 1/2. So we're going to need a piece that's 3 1/2. And then we're going to cut this to 6. All right. So there we go. So that is our, and then we're going to need one piece of basic white. Or it can be colored too. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a piece of white cardstock. But we're going to use a piece of white that's 2 1/2 by 6. So we're going to make it 2 1/2. And then we're going to cut it to 6 inches here. And then on this piece, we're going to score it at 1 inch. Okay, so we're going to create a score line at 1 inch. And those are the 3 pieces that we need. So you guys can see you're going to get a lot out of, you could make a lot of these with little paper. Okay, now I forgot one thing. So let me go grab it real quickly. I need a punch. sorry about that. We're going to need a tag punch. Mine's, I think, a little old, but if you guys have whatever tag punch you have, and if you don't have a tag punch, let me show you what you can do with this one. Okay, so this is the piece we're going to use that we need to put a little tag topper on. The other thing you could do, if you so desire, is instead of using a punch, you could just put this right like this at the top of your card. And then when you run it through, only go this far. That's all you have to do. And what it's going to do is give you that nice stitching at the top. Beautiful. You can absolutely do that. You could do it this way too, and then just cut off these two. So, and then you already got the little hole there. So just up to you. I'm just going to use the tag because it's just a little easier. Okay, so this is the items that we need for our gift card holder. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and burnish these lines right here. And then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take some dimensionals, and we are going to put 2 of them just down here at the bottom. Okay, so we're just going to take 2 of them, and we're just going to put them just like that at the bottom. Now we're going to take some adhesive, and we're going to just run a bead of adhesive right along this 1/2 inch edge. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove those tops, and then I'm just going to take this right over. Oops, got my finger in the glue, you guys, and I got it on our little glass mat there. There we go. And there we have the start of our gift card holder. And we're just going to kind of push that down a little bit. Oops. Okay, get out a wipe here. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take our beautiful paper that we have here, and we are going to just wrap that around our gift card. Now, if you have directional paper, which this one isn't really directional, you're just going to want to make sure that you have it going the right way, right? Okay, so all we're going to do, we don't have to score it or anything. We're just going to take it and line it up on our piece of cardstock here. And then again, we're just going to make sure we get it nice and even along the edges. So mine's slightly not correct. So I'm going to just put it like, so I'm going to lay it out like this, okay? Till I can get those 2 edges to be exact, and then kind of crease it. That way, when I lay it in here, it's straight. And then when I go to wrap the rest of it around, you can see now I can line it up a little bit better. So all we're doing is folding that piece of Designer Series paper over our piece of cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive just to the back here. And then I'm going to fold this over. And then this one, I'm going to add just a bead of adhesive right along that edge. And that way this can adhere down. But isn't that paper? It does remind me so much. It's such an old-fashioned looking paper. I just love it. All right, so there we go. So that is that part. Now we're going to go back to our piece of cardstock here. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is what's going to happen. So we're going to bend this here. And then what you do is you're going to slide it right in here. And it is going to set right in. So you can see this is a little tall, and that is left so that you can punch and that kind of thing. I think I might have made this just a tad too tall, so I'm actually going to just take about a 1/2 inch off. I'm just going to cut it with my scissors. Okay, and now I'm going to take my tag topper here, and I am going to slide this in. Now, this is going to come out and be just a tad bit more, what's the word? It's going to have some of those little edges on both sides. So I'm just going to do that. Take it out, and you can see how it has these little edges. So I'm just going to trim those right off on both sides. There we go. And then when I put it in, I'm just going to make sure that it slides in and I don't see any part of that. Yeah, perfect. See that? So you can't even tell here, and we're going to add some ribbon to it. So you might want to center it a little bit more. That looks a little off, if I do say so myself. But when I look at it this way, it looks perfectly fine. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a little piece of ribbon in here, and then we're going to decorate the front. So this is another great time, you guys, to use up any old ribbon that you might have. You know, where it doesn't have to be maybe super, super nice. Looking to see which one I should use here. This is real red. The other one was like a copper color. So I think, let's see, I think I'll use this one. I don't have that new green ribbon that's absolutely beautiful in the new catalog. But that would be a beautiful one to use with this paper here. So I'm just going to take this and make a loop. I'm going to take it through that spot there, and then I'm just going to run this right through. I'm going to cut this off. Make sure I don't have that out incorrectly. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to get this nice little tag topper there. And I'm just going to cut that off just a little bit more. And then I can actually take some other ribbon here. Let me see if that might go. It kind of matches that beautiful color ribbon there. Let me see if I can do I don't know what this is going to look like, but we'll see. I don't know, but we'll see if we can wrap this around and make a pretty little bow around the end of it here. And anyhow, so this would be just a nice little gift card holder you could make for family or friends. And you could even put, and maybe we'll do that, put a little note on the side there, inside of our gift card holder. So there you go. That's that part. Now we're going to decorate the front. So let's see, out of our plethora here, I mentioned we have all these nice little designs. So we're just going to find one we like and maybe put it right on top. Let's see if we can find something that looks maybe a little bit more appropriate for our card. I was going to use that truck, but I'm like, well, that doesn't go at all. So let's just, let me hunt through these. There's so many. So maybe we'll just take a little bit of a Christmas bulb here and use that on there, and we'll put something behind it. Let's see if we can find a pretty something pretty that we can put behind our Christmas bulb. That would be nice. You know what? I think, do I have my circle? I don't have my circle punch. That's okay. Okay, so let me find a green. Let me, you know, we cut out all those tags, didn't we? So we're just going to see if we have one that would look nice that we could maybe stamp on there and put a Merry Christmas. I gotta tell you guys, I don't know. I just love that paper so much. I'm just really debating now. Do I put anything on there? So you know what? I know. We're gonna do this. We're gonna take one that is smaller here and we're gonna stamp for you. So we're gonna take our stamp set here. And there is one in here that says for you. And I think we will just stamp that right on our card. And that will be perfect. And then we'll put just a little gem right there. Okay. So we will use some garden green. Oops. So again, I think tags are one of those wonderful ways that you can use a whole bunch of different kinds of ribbon. Get that. That you might have in your stash that maybe you bought last Christmas and it's starting to pile up. This is perfect. This is such a great way to use it. So I'm just going to put that right there in the center and we'll pop it up on a couple dimensionals. And then we're going to add a little gem or something on there. And I know the perfect thing we'll do. We will take one of our little candy cane guys here and put that right on that little spot. All right. So let's take one of these guys. And we will just put that right over that little hole right there. And there is our first gift card holder that we're doing. So again, you just pull this out and your gift card, actually I'm going to turn this the other way, and your gift card just sits right inside that little pouch there and they can just pull it out. So I absolutely love it. I think it is such a cute and easy gift card holder. I think it's one of my faves. But I have a couple more. I have another one that I really like too that we'll go over tomorrow. Okay, so that's that. That's our first item. Okay, now what we're going to do, hopefully you guys can't see. This desk is, we're working with so many things. It's a little bit of a mess here. All right, let's go through and make a big gift tag. All right, so here's our items we're going to use for this one. So remember I told you this is our Memories and More card. So we're going to use one of those. And then I had a piece that is 1.5 by, I think it was 2. So 1.5 by 2, and I just cut it anywhere down the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just take any sparkling, shiny paper that you have. That's what this is. I think you can get those same colors in the catalog today. This one was something I had. So anyhow, but just take some sparkly paper. You just need a little bit of it, and that coordinates with your cards. This is one of our dies from the die set that we're going to be working with, the oval. This is just a strip of a piece of paper that came from the festive, let me make sure I tell you the names right again. A little bit festive. And that is the one that has all these different die cuts in them. It has this strip of paper. So we're going to take it and we're going to rip some of it off and use it to label, to layer our card. Then I have just a piece of basic white, and this is cut at 2.5 by, it was cut by, it was 2.5, let me just tell you. Yeah, it was 2.5 by 8.5, okay? So this is what I did. So I angled it down at the bottom, and I took well, I'll show you what I did. I took this die right here. So this is what I did. I took the die and I set it on my paper. Okay. So like I had it up a little bit further like this. I held it in place, which I probably would have taped it. And then I took my scissors, and I'll do this again. It's no big deal. I took my scissors right up against the die and I just cut up to the point right there. Then I moved it over and I did the same thing over here. I just got my scissors right up to the edge and cut to the point. Now, many of you are probably very good at cutting these little angle cuts. I am not. It is just not one of my strong suits at all. So so that's what I did, and I got a nice little point. Now, the other thing you can do up at the top, I took one of the Country Inn dies and I laid it down and I just trimmed the two edges off. Again, I did that just so I could line it up a little better. So it's just kind of a neat way to use your dies. You don't obviously cut all your dies, but, and then I have that piece of white, and then I have this piece here, and this is 3 5/8 by 8 1/2. And all I did on this one was the same thing. I took a larger die, lined it up, and then just cut the two sides. And I used those Country Inn dies. And again, it was just to make it so it's even. You guys can measure, absolutely measure. I don't like to measure. So that to me was easier. Okay, here are the things we're going to use outside of some stickers that we're going to put on here to kind of embellish. But this is just going to be a very large gift tag. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to line up these two pieces here somewhere down here toward kind of the center of the tag. All right, so just take your two pieces of sparkly paper, and you're going to line those up. Now I do need them to make sure that they're like the same, the same width. And then I'm just going to add some adhesive and stick those right down. So this would make, if you have a really large gift or a gift bag, just these large tags I think are so pretty. They're a little gift all in their own, You could also take a piece of white cardstock and put it on the bottom. Now I'm just turning this just to make sure, kind of eyeballing to make sure that they're pretty straight across. Again, it doesn't have to be like perfect, and I will soon show you why. So now we're going to take our piece of white and I'm going to line up my edges up here because I want that all to be on the same, kind of the same level. And then you're just going to see the tag's going to hang down here. All right. Now, I was unsure if I was going to actually glue this down, but I am, because I kind of want it to stay stationary. But if you guys wanted to, and I don't have to like kind of adhere the whole, like put glue on the whole thing, just to make sure that it's going to stay in place. So I'm going to go ahead and put that all the way up to the top. Oops. And again, some of this is going to get covered up by ribbon. So, I told you about using the dies, to kind of make it straight. If it's not perfectly straight, it's okay, because that's, like I said, going to get a little covered up by ribbon. Now we're going to take our piece of designer paper here and we're going to put that on next. But I need to just rip some of it off here at the end. So I'm just going to tear it. Now you guys can punch it, cut it, whatever you would like. I'm just going to take a little bit off, and that's what it should look like there at the bottom. And the goal of that is to give it just different kinds of texture. So again, we're just going to go ahead and adhere this right on now to the piece of white. Now, the other thing I thought about doing on this piece, and maybe we'll do it on our tag tomorrow, is do some embossing. I think that would be absolutely beautiful on this piece of white, or even the colored piece. You could add some texture that way. Now I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to just line it up right there in the center, somewhere like, I don't know, somewhere like that. I was going to have it line up where the red was right here. That was actually my goal. But I just realized I think I put this down too low. So I'm going to improvise and I'm going to move this up. So no right or wrong reason here, but that's where it's going to be. Now this one I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of it. So we're going to take our dimensionals here and we're going to add some of those. So these Memory and More cards, when you look at, they are not, you know, you don't have to just make cards out of them. It has so many options. And one of the other goals with this too is, so when you guys, if you decide to make some of these items, I'm hoping that the ones we make kind of all go together. You know, in one way or another, they kind of coordinate a little bit. All right, so we will put that right there. There we go. Okay, now we're going to put in our sentiment here. And this one we're actually going to hang kind of from the top. This is the one that's going to say to from or for you. So I think, and you guys can see we have all kinds of different things we can put on here. So I think for this one, let me look at the to from and see if it will kind of fit. It is a little bit larger. Let me wash this one off here. Clean that one. You know, I'm not sure. Fridays just always seem to be a little bit busier, don't they? All right, so let's see if we can stamp to and from. Excuse me. So I'm going to get the red. We're going to set that little tag off, and then we will add to and see if it'll fit on here. I think it looks like it will. I think it'll fit. I'm just not sure if I can get the to and the from, but it looks like, I think we're going to be able to do that. So we will put to, which by the way, if your piece is large enough, I think you actually could do to and from. Like you could ink them both up and do them at the same time. I don't think you should have to do them separate. But let's see here. Hopefully you guys can see this too. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. So the other thing I would suggest too is, it's like those tags you get at the store, right? Where it's like so small. It's like all you can really put is somebody's first name or an initial. So that looks pretty small, but that's all right. I think we get the gist. Okay. Now I have one more thing I want to do to this card, and that is I want to do a little bit of accenting, and then I want to put just a strip of gold down here at the bottom. So I have this gold paper, you know, the gold foil sheets. So we're just going to take and cut a strip that's about a 1/2 inch. So we don't want it to be big and huge, but we want to get a nice, just a nice little bit of extra color on there. So I'm going to take this and we'll just do a 1/2 inch, and we can probably take this 1/2 inch and use it all weekend probably. Now my card was 3 and I think I said 3 5/8, right? Was the width. So I think that's about right. Okay. So let's just make sure. And we're just going to add this right to the bottom here. And that is just going to add, look at that nice little bit of color that adds to the bottom. Okay. And then we're going to add some jewels, and we'll see if we have any stickers that we want to add to this one. If not, we will definitely use those up somewhere else. All right. Okay, so now what we're going to do, let me just look at these and see if we see anything that we might want to stick on there. And I do not think so. I don't see anything that I want to put on there, but I do want to put some pretty gems and some sparkles. So I think I'm going to look here, and we will do some clear, just regular rhinestones on here, on this one. And then we're going to put, so just, again, we're looking for anything kind of shimmery and shiny, and some nice color here. A pretty little tag. Maybe we'll put one over here. Okay. And then I think I'm going to add a couple red ones as well. Oops. Put that on too quickly. And maybe put those, let's see, maybe we'll just put one up here. Oops. And we'll put another one, oops, maybe down here somewhere. There we go. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab some ribbon and put that on top. So I'm going to show you several ways to do this, but instead of us poking a hole, which we could do, we're going to take a couple strips. And again, I would just encourage you, find a couple colors of ribbon that you like, that you want to use, that you maybe say, hey, I have a lot of this. Just find some that you like, cut them down to, different, different lengths. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to take these, put them together here. I have one longer than the other. I'm going to take the red. This one I might need to recut. I think the red might be just a little too short for what I'm trying to do here. Nope, that'll work. It's fine. Okay, so I'm going to take these three pieces of ribbon, and I probably cut some of them maybe a little longer than maybe I should. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I am literally going to staple them to the top here. Okay. And I'm going to show you then what we're going to do. So let me get those all under there and give it a good staple. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to trim these down because some of them are a lot longer. That was a little bit of I have a little bit of a waist, you guys, but that's okay. Don't look. No one will know. All right, now I'm going to take some of this iridescent ribbon. This is still out that you can purchase, I know. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to tie that around a couple times and then tie a bow in the front. So I need to make sure I get enough of ribbon here so that I can get a nice bow in the front. Now, the other thing you could do is literally just tie your bow. Like you don't have to, you could just wrap some around the other pieces of ribbon here and then tie a bow. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be, oops, get this over here. All right. I'm just going to do this. And then let me tie this bow. Okay. I'm just going to fiddle with this just a little bit here. Because what I don't want to do either is I don't want to see, for obvious reasons, right, my nice little staple. So there we go. All right, so there is our nice big tag. Oh, I forgot one thing. Oh, hello. We forgot our little to from. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to take a piece of ribbon or twine. So in this case, I'm going to pull in some of this green twine because that's going to go nicely with the colors we already have. And I will just run this through here. Maybe. Okay. Just going to run it through here and just tie a knot, and then I'm going to actually loop it around those ribbon, because we want this to be somewhat kind of free flowing. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a knot down here at the bottom, just so this stays real close together. There we go. And then we can take this and wrap it around our ribbon up here. So I'm just tucking it under there. So what I should have done, this is kind of my bad. I should have done that ahead of time, and then that way it would not have gone in there. Oops. I wouldn't have to do this, I guess is my point. I probably would have wrapped it right around the actual other ribbon. Oops. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's not gonna go, is it? Well, that's okay. You know what we're gonna do? We'll just do it a different way. So I'm just gonna take it and actually wrap it below this bow is all. And that way it's right there. And again, it just has to be a little knot is all. So, and again, you guys can put it in there 100 different ways, right? Let me just get this so it's maybe just a little bit more and takes up a little bit more of the string there. There we go. And we'll get this a little bit tighter again. There we go. All right. There you guys have it. Oops. There we go. I used a little bit of that. So probably I would make this, I'd probably wrap this around just a little bit higher so it's not so dangly over our words, but you definitely want it to be dangling. You don't want it to be like adhered to your card. It gives it just a little bit more dimension. Okay. I hope you guys like it. I love it. I love how it came out. Okay. So that is our first bookmark. Now in the tutorial, the recipe cards that I will give you, I'll try to tell you like the pieces we used and then some of these measurements. That way you have those. Otherwise you can watch the videos. All right. Now I have a small gift card for us, or not small gift card, a small tag that I wanted to show you using some of the pieces. So I have a couple of the stars that came from the festive pack, one of the die cuts that came from the dies. This is the larger die with some of that printed gold foiled paper, and then a plain white one. And then this also came from the festive pack, and it's just one of the trees. So all we're going to do for this one, pretty simple actually, we are going to kind of let these be form flowing. We're going to pop this up on some dimensionals, and we're going to layer it right over top of that piece of designer series paper. Okay. Oh, I said I was going to put this up on dimensionals. Hello. Okay. How quickly I forget. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll put this pretty tree. So hopefully at the end of this, you guys are going to have a lot of different tags that you can make and boxes. So, you know, that you can have ready to go. So here's the other thing I was thinking. And then I have a couple of these stars. So I was going to put it on the tree, but I didn't like it. It has that pretty little ribbon. So I'm just going to actually put one of them on the side. And actually I'm going to take the smaller one and put it up here. Oops. And then I'm going to take our tag label here. And I think I'm going to use that to... and I'll cover up the little side there with a star. So I'm just going to put this now kind of right over that, right over the tree. But actually what I was going to do is this right here. So I was going to cut off a portion of the dot. So it's kind of hanging off, lines right up with the edge. That's what it's going to do with this one. I have to sometimes remember I have all these ideas in my head. And then I kind of forget when I start to go through them. There we go. We're just going to trim that dot right off. Take one of our greetings here. And this says love and joy. So we're going to use this one. And again, we'll get out garden green because I think that's going to look real pretty. And I absolutely, the other thing for some of these tags, if you guys like to, I probably would... let me make sure this is going to fit. Yeah, it's going to fit. You could do some, oh, what was I going to say? Oh, my goodness, I forgot. Embossing, heat embossing. Okay, so we're just going to put that right there and adhere that down, and then we're going to still add our gold star. So we're just going to line it up right along that portion and just adhere it right to our tree. Take our star and put this right here. There we go. And now we're going to add some twine for this one. So I think we're going to kind of need to stick with the green. And I don't think the other ones, we'll have to bring those other colors in. This goes with a fall pack, but it's got so many pretty colors. And remember, we're not going to adhere these other two together. We're going to leave them separate so they can kind of look a little more layered. But if you don't like the dangly look, the other thing that you could do is you could adhere them, but just adhere them slightly off like that. I think that also is a nice look. Okay, so we don't need a bunch of twine for our tag, right? We just need enough that we can take a little tape and adhere it. So I'm going to do this, wrap that around one more time. And that is it right there. So we'll just trim that off and trim this off. All right, you guys, I have to go real quickly, and our dog is whining. And so I just need to make sure that she is not, needs to go outside. So I'll be right back. Oh. All right, so there we go. So this is our small tag that we did. So that is it. And again, we're using those same products that we showed earlier. Okay, so now I have one more thing to share with you guys. And that is, we did one of these boxes, I think it was week 1 or 2. And I wanted to show you how you could make a bunch of these if you wanted for different treats using the Memories and More and that festive pack. So if you're done making tags with them, you could then make some of these adorable gift boxes. So if you remember, so it comes in 2 parts. So this is the bottom box, and you're just going to fold it in, and then you have these pieces of adhesive. You just need to take this right off and fold up the corners, and this piece comes straight down, and just push into the side and then push this piece down, and it adheres those tabs right inside. These have been such a great seller, and they truly are wonderful boxes. If you do different party favors or table favors, and it doesn't even have to be, obviously, we get so many of these things and we think Christmas, but Valentine's Day or New Year's, if you do any kind of New Year's party or anything like that, you could fill these with all kinds of cute little treats. Okay, so that is it for the bottom of the box. So this is the top of our box. So this fits right in like this, and then this becomes the top. So we're going to decorate it. So one of the things we're going to use, if you remember, this was our tag, right? Well, we're going to flip it over, and we are literally going to adhere it to the front of our box here. Okay, and then we're going to just round those corners on the end. I will really like it when Stampin' Up, I think I said this before, brings a rounder, back, a rounder punch. Be super nice. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to tell you guys that I don't think I've spit out yet, if you ever do, events with your family or, get-togethers, or even with your neighbors, I thought it would be so much fun. And I've literally thought about doing this even with my customers. But you could grab a container of these boxes, a thing of the paper with all the tags and these Memories and More, put out some cardstock. You could sit and just put everything down the middle of the table and let people make tags and boxes and gift card holders. And it could just be, they could just pick from the plethora of items that are there. I just thought that would be a super fun way to get together and do like a little family event. Okay, I just have these 2 little teeny points. All I'm going to do is just round those right off. That's it. I'm not going to go, I have a little piece of cardstock sticking out here. I'm not even concerned about that. I'm going to let that stay right where it is. So there you go. So all I did was take it so that I had now rounded corners. That's all. Just so that it looks a little cleaner. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I have picked out, so remember how I told you just take some whatever sparkly paper? So I just took a 2-inch circle of sparkly paper. This is one of the pieces from the festive kit. Now it does not fit. It won't look very nice the way it is. So I'm actually going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this present off here. So actually what I'm going to do is go straight up. And then you can see that little teeny bit of green. I'm just going to cut that pointy piece off right there and kind of round it as well. So there you go. I'm just gonna take it, go up a little bit more. There we go. And that is it. And this piece, I'm not gonna get rid of it because I can butt that right up against a card and it could be a cute little present. So we don't want to get rid of, you don't need to get rid of anything. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my circle and I'm gonna put this up on dimensionals. And then we're gonna take this cute little thing of gifts and put it right there. And then this is my tag that's going to say Merry Christmas or whatever. And I'm going to put that down here. And then I'm going to cut it off at the end. So let's first put this up on dimensionals. Now, I want it to not have any dimensional right here because I'm going to use it to tuck my tab in. I think you guys probably remember when we did that on one of the boxes we made week 1, I think. And so I'm just going to put them on the three, kind of those 3 sides and leave this open in the middle for the tab. Now I do have to have some idea of where that tab is. So I'm just going to fold this over and make sure that I have an idea, which should be right about there. And make sure that it can easily come, yep, there we go, perfect. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our presents and we are just going to add those right to the top there. So it gives it a little dimension. Now, whenever you are sticking on like glittery paper or anything, just kind of give it a little bit more time to dry as opposed to it being, you know, just paper on paper. So there we go. And while that is kind of drying and before we put the box all together, I'm going to bring this in and we are going to determine what we want our greeting to be. So if I look here, I need something that's a little more just kind of straight, not too, too thick. So I think I'm going to just say, let's see. I think we'll do Merry Christmas. I think we can fit that right there and it'll be pretty. I think that will work. So I just have to find the Merry and the Christmas, which I think I just did. The other thing I'm going to tell you is I'm not sure I'm going to try really hard to line these up exactly. I might do kind of Merry and then Christmas because if I try to line them up, they're not gonna be lined up. They're just not, because I don't think I'll be able to. Okay, so I'm just going to put kind of Merry at an angle like that, and then I'll do Christmas across. So just a little tip there. You know, if you guys have trouble lining things up, then maybe make them crooked, like do them, offset them a little bit, and that way you don't ever have to be concerned about lining things up completely, like completely straight. Now sometimes you know, you have to, right? Okay, I'm going to pull this just in just a little bit so that I can see. And then I'm going to put Christmas just right about there. There we go. So that'll be our little tag. All right. And hopefully we have enough, oops, space there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look and see here if I lay this down, and that's perfect. So I can have Merry Christmas right there, and I'm going to just cut that off right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and just adhere the portion that I know I'm going to want, not go too far. And we'll just set that right there. Lay it down like that. Here we go. Make sure it's straight. There we go. And then I'm just going to flip this over. You guys can tell I used paper that I had stamped on. So I'm just going to put my scissors right up against it and cut straight down. And I might have gotten another piece of that other little cardstock there. Let me see. Oh, that looks good. All right. Oops. Get rid of that. So there is the top of our box. So now we can put it all together. So I'm going to take these two, I'm going to bend this up. Okay, so if you remember, we're going to take these two pieces off here. Oops. And then I'm going to take my box and I'm going to put it right up against. So I'm looking to make sure it's lined up this way, and then so I can actually, maybe the better way, now that I'm sitting here telling you guys that, I think the better way is to maybe hold it right there up against the line, the score line, and I'm just going to bring it up this way. I think that's the best way. Yeah, definitely. Okay, that is definitely the way to do that. Put it right up against that score line and then fold it in. That was much easier. And there you go. Look at that. That is our cute little box. Okay, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm going to have to find someone to give all these to. Okay, I have a little star here. We could add that, but I think we'll put this back over there, and then I do think we'll add some pretty little gems to this, though. I think we'll take some of these red ones, and we're just going to add some of these here. Everything needs sparkle at Christmas time, don't you think? I think everything could use just a little. We'll put this one right above the eye, and then I don't know, we'll add another one here. Maybe, let's see. Maybe I'll put it over here like that. There we go. Okay. That'll work. All right, so there you guys go. So let's bring in all of our projects that we've done today. So we had our box, we have a mini tag or a smaller tag, and then we have our larger tag here that we did with all of our pretty ribbon that we can use up. We definitely want to do that. And then we have our gift card holder here. So you guys will have to tell me which one you like the best, what project you like. I love this gift card holder. I love the paper. So I think we're definitely going to be using more of that tomorrow. So there you guys have it. So this is day 10 for your projects. And then tomorrow, I will see you back tomorrow, and we will do another gift card holder, another big tag, little tag, and we might be doing a bag tomorrow. Or I'm going to show you just how you can, again, decorate using those same things that we've been using to create another box. All right, you guys, hope you liked it. We will see you tomorrow. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, take care. Bye.